Hey, RetconRaider here. Now obviously, my first Battletech Let's Play was a bit of a mess. Like I said in the overview, I'm just not very familiar with the setting, or the rule set for that matter. I may have ended up winning that first skirmish, but I made an awful lot of boneheaded mistakes in the process. So this time, I'm hoping I can redeem myself with another look at the current version of the Battletech Backer Beta. Hey, I may be bad at video games, but that doesn't mean I don't learn from experience. So let's get started. First, let's take another look at the mission settings screen. I got most of this right last time. You can use this screen to select your lance of 4 mechs as well as the 4 mechs that you'll be going up against. But what I missed was that this here indicates the size of the battle. As a fan of war games and strategy games in general, I mistook the M and the MV here as meaning meters and movement, but it's actually the point value of each mech determined by their chassis and equipment loadout. You're expected to keep your value below the amount indicated for your selected scenario. In this case, I've decided to play a 20-point battle. I've gone with a medium support lance, and I'll be going up against a medium assault lance. I've already studied each of my mech loadouts, and I've swapped out my pilots for ones who have skills I'm comfortable with. Hopefully this lineup should give me a good cross-section of the different weapon categories available in the current beta. So here we are on Big Alpine, another river map. Like last time, we're in simultaneous movement mode until we come within visual range of an enemy mech. Now, while I have refined some of my strategies, I still like to take advantage of elevated terrain and choke points. So I'm headed right for that wooded cliff up there. Though, of course, it is going to take me a couple of turns to get my heavy mech into position.
Heading out.
One thing I've learned is how to make proper use of light scout mechs. The pilot I chose for my Locust has the sensor lock ability. I'll be using that ability to lock onto the first mech that comes within sensor range. Can I spot anyone? No, it doesn't look like anyone's close enough yet. Alright, well, since it looks clear, I guess I'll just move these 3 up into wooded cover.
Copy that.
Because of the way this map is designed, you can see there's only 2 directions they can really come at me from. Oh, speaking of which, looks like they're coming around the right. Now I can see that that's a 50-ton mech and a 25-ton mech, so a medium and a light. So I'll immediately select my Locust and bring my sensor lock to bear on the medium one in the lead, I think. Alright, so now that I have a sensor lock on him, you'll see that I have a lot more information about what I'm dealing with. And more importantly, my sensor lock negates any defensive bonuses he has, and will allow me to make indirect fire attacks on him. At the moment, the only indirect fire weapons are missile launchers, so let me move up one of my heavier mechs.
Target confirmed.
There we go. I'm starting off my barrage with the Vindicator, who's equipped with a particle projection cannon and a long-range missile launcher. The particle projection cannon is the heaviest energy weapon currently in the game. It inflicts a lot of damage to a single target location, but it also builds up a lot of heat, and does no stability damage. The long-range missile launcher, on the other hand, inflicts a lot of low scatter damage all over the enemy mech. But more importantly, it inflicts heavy stability damage, making it a lot more likely that you'll knock over the enemy mech.
I'm here.
Once a mech is knocked prone, it injures the pilot, but also allows you to make precision attacks targeting specific body locations.
Hey,
Now, I've done a good job softening up their Centurion, but they've got that lighter scout mech coming up the side. I think that's a commando, so I need to be ready for it. I'll move my Jaeger mech up, but unfortunately he doesn't have any missile launchers. The Jaeger mech is equipped with a lot of direct fire weapons, like autocannons and medium lasers. The autocannons are your basic ballistic cannons that inflict a fairly solid amount of damage to armor and internal components, and a moderate amount of stability damage, but you also have to make room for ammo on your mech. Alright, a new round just started, so that means my sensor lock is worn off. I'm going to move my Locust up and reacquire a lock. I suppose I should continue focusing fire on the Centurion since I've already softened him up a bit. And here comes their scout. Looks like he's attacking me with a long-range missile launcher and a laser of some sort. He hasn't done a whole lot of physical damage, but he's done a lot of stability damage. Fortunately, the Vindicator's a pretty sturdy mech, and I'm taking 25% reduced damage because of my woodland cover. But now that he's in line of sight, I might want to think about attacking him.
What do you need?
But then again, that commando's already used his activation for this round, so he's not going to get to go again until next round. It might be a better idea for me to continue bombarding the Centurion before it can get within firing range as well.
Let's move.
Yeah, I think I'll continue firing on the Centurion for now. That's about what I expected. A lot of light damage and some decent stability damage. And here comes another medium mech. Looks like a hunchback. I'm pretty sure their hunchback pilot also has the sensor lock ability, meaning that now I'm going to have to worry about their heavy mech peppering me with volleys of missiles. I suppose I shouldn't ignore their commando entirely. Wasn't a one-hit kill, but it did blow off one of his arms, so that cuts his already meager firepower in half. And it does look like their Centurion has decided to back off a bit. Well, he's chewed up my armor a bit. Almost took out one of my arms, and he's knocked me off balance, but could have been worse. But more importantly, he's now in direct line of sight, so I can finally bring my autocannons into the mix.
If you say so.
Ooh, as you can see from his status readout, his entire torso's pretty torn up now, so he's near death. And there's that indirect missile fire I knew was coming. Alright, top of round 5. I should sensor lock someone, but I want to see what they're going to do first. Okay, their scout mech has retreated into cover and is continuing to pelt my catapult with missiles.
Armor holding.
He's not doing much damage to my armor, but I'm definitely getting a little worried about all this stability damage. My catapult might end up falling over. But again, now that the commando's gone, I know I don't have to worry about them until next round, so for now I'm going to keep firing on their approaching mechs to soften them up a bit before they get to attack as well. You know what? Scratch that. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can finish off this commando. I'll trim off a couple of my lasers to control my heat, but... Ah, nice. Looks like that was just enough to finish him off. Good thing I didn't trim off more weapons. And here comes that hunchback again. Like I said before, he's basically just going to keep sensor locking my mechs. He's essentially doing the same thing that I've been doing with my Locust. Speaking of whom... I think we'll keep picking on the Centurion. If I'm lucky, I can cripple him before he gets much closer. Alright, looks like he had to spend his whole turn maneuvering just to turn himself back around, so that should give me ample time to continue taking him apart.
Copy that.
I'll begin the barrage with a well-placed particle projection beam, and it looks like I've disarmed him. That's a good start. Now here comes their heavy mech. Looks like he's following after the Hunchback. Not sure if he's going to fire on me, but I guess not. Okay.
I'm here.
Well, I guess I can't really complain about that. And since it looks like the Hunchback and the Orion are taking the long way around, that gives me time to focus on the Centurion. So let's just bring my autocannons to bear here, and... Oh, wow, that was a little unexpected. I guess with its right arm out of the way, my attacks were more likely to hit its center torso from that angle. Well, again, I can't complain.
I hear ya.
Alright, that's 2 down and 2 to go, so I think next I'll start focusing on their Hunchback. They've got 1 medium and 1 heavy mech left, so the medium should go down a little faster. Not sure about the line of sight there. I think those rocks are blocking my fire.
Aye, aye.
Yeah, unfortunately, it doesn't look like I'm going to be able to get line of sight there. The line of sight indicator shows that I almost have a clear line of sight, but then it's interrupted right when it hits the edge of those rocks. I kind of wish I had sensor locked their heavy now instead, but that's fine. I'll just put these guys in reserve. Well, I'll just start moving my catapult up so that it will have a visual once he does move into line of sight. Well, this gives me a good chance to use the brace action. That essentially ends my turn early in exchange for giving my pilot a chance to remove that stability damage I've suffered. Alright, their Orion has moved closer, but he's still hugging those rocks for cover.
Roger that.
Top of round 7.
Damn you, Commander.
First of all, I think I'll move my Locust a bit further away into a more defensive position. And since I know the Hunchback is going to be coming around the corner first, I might as well sensor lock him. That should negate most of the movement-based bonuses he'll get to defense. Huh. Odd. Not sure exactly why he didn't fire on me from there. Well, I'll just chalk it up to good luck. Let's see. I guess I'll turn off my long-range missile launchers since I'm too close now. But my energy weapon should work.
Standing by.
And I'll move up Arc Light. Start getting some of my other mechs in there. And once again, I'm still too close to use missiles, but that's fine. I still have energy weapons to fall back on. Ah, okay. That's why the Hunchback didn't attack. He was sensor locking me again so that their Orion can keep bombarding me.
I'm taking internal damage.
Now that we're at closer range, most of the fighting's going to be done with lasers and autocannons. Lasers are alright. They do medium damage, they don't need any ammo, but they also don't do any balance damage, and they cause rapid overheating. Huh. I'll admit, that Hunchback is weathering the beating a lot better than I thought he would. Alright, top of round 8. I think this time I'll start moving my Locust up onto the offensive. This probably isn't the smartest move, but I would like to take out this Hunchback before the heavy mech shows up. Ah. Well, I guess that's what I get. I took a chance and it didn't pay off. Hopefully it won't end up costing me too much. And here comes their Hunchback. Looks like he's continuing to focus fire on my Vindicator. Oof. Looks like he's tearing me up a bit with an autocannon and an assortment of lasers.
That shot went internal.
Unfortunately, that puts my Vindicator in pretty bad shape.
Yes,
I've taken a lot of damage to my torso region, so I need to back off.
On the move.
Hopefully this should be far enough. Now I'll return fire, see if I can get lucky and cripple their Hunchback.
Target confirmed.
Looks like I've done heavy damage to his center torso as well, so if I get lucky, I can finish him off with one more good shot. Might as well turn on all the lasers for this one, give him the full rave treatment. Oh, that was disappointing. Oops, and here comes some more indirect fire right on top of my Locust.
Ha! Send me a real opponent.
He does seem to have weathered it pretty well, though, so I guess I shouldn't worry about it too much. In fact, as long as their Orion hangs back and just keeps making indirect fire, I think I might be in pretty good shape. Especially since that gives me more time to keep shooting at their Hunchback. I think this time I'll hedge my bets with a full barrage and... oh, well, I guess that was overkill, because the very first shots from my autocannon fire took him out.
Destroyed.
Alright, that means at this point I can focus all of my firepower on finishing off their Orion. And of course, we'll get this party started by bringing my Locust around and sensor locking him for more indirect fire.
I've got more hostiles on my screen.
Let's see here.
Aye, aye.
My Vindicator's in bad shape, but... well, I should be safe from this angle.
Taking the shot.
He'd have to walk all the way around those rocks to get line of sight on me. And he can't rely on the Hunchback for sensor lock anymore.
Aye, aye.
Go ahead and add some more missiles to the pile.
Firing.
Unfortunately, their Orion is a heavy mech. That means it's going to take several barrages to do any appreciable damage to him. Though it does look like I lucked out and injured their pilot with that barrage. Looks like he used the brace action. That removes all the stability damage I did to him and also gives him the guarded and entrenched buffs. I don't think my sensor lock negates either of those.
Oh, I'll just sit here and manage heat.
Now, obviously, he's out of line of sight for my Jaeger mech, so...
Waiting on you, Commander.
like she whined about, I'll just go ahead and have her hang back and vent some heat. But of course, until then, I can keep on bombarding this guy with long-range missiles. Wow, he's just shrugging that off, isn't he?
Standing by. Copy that.
Well, let's try salvo 2. There we go. That looks like a little bit more damage. And here he comes. Now I need to start expecting to take some serious damage. See, once he's within full weapons range, he might take out one or two of my mechs. Though hopefully at this close a range, he won't be able to use his long-range missiles effectively. And now that he's finally in line of sight, I can bring my Jaeger mech around and start putting those autocannons to good use. Nice, I see some torso damage there. That's one step closer to taking him down. He definitely still looks pretty sturdy, but I think I'm just going to start laying into him with everything I've got now. I might lose one or two of my guys in the exchange, but since this isn't a campaign, I don't think it really matters.
Awaiting orders.
Though I will still try to play it safe with my Vindicator. Like I said before, my Vindicator's one good shot away from being destroyed, so I'll keep it buried back here in the woods.
Aye, aye.
In fact, just to hedge my bets, I think I'll go ahead and move my catapult right in front of the Vindicator. I'm not sure
On my way.
if that'll actually make a difference, but I think that will provide some extra cover for my Vindicator. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised their Orion is still standing. After all those missiles, I figured the stability damage would have knocked it prone.
Coordinates received.
Well, might as well get the Locust in there, too.
Tell me what to shoot.
Not much damage, but I guess every bit helps. I'd love to get close enough to make use of the Locust's machine guns, but since my Locust is a light mech and the Orion is a heavy mech, I can't take the chance that he'll melee attack me to death. Well, my Locust is soaking up some pretty heavy fire, but hey, he's still alive. Think I'll start moving my Jagger mech up into a flanking... Actually, you know what, I'm fine here. Again, I can't risk getting too close to the Orion, or he might just turn around and melee attack me. My Jagger might not be able to survive that.
Waiting for orders.
In fact, I think I'll go ahead and pull back my heavily damaged Locust mech, too. I'll just go back to sensor locking. I don't know if it's making any difference at this point, but it certainly couldn't hurt.
Commander.
Nothing fancy here. My Vindicator will just hold position and continue its withering barrage on the Orion. And it looks like I almost blew off his right arm with that attack. I'll follow that up with another barrage from my catapult, who will... No, he'll hold steady where he is. I don't think I've mentioned it before, but my catapult pilot has a skill called Master Tactician. Normally the catapult wouldn't be able to go quite this early in the phase, but Master Tactician gives her +1 initiative. And... oh, there we go. Finally knocked him down. Oh, but it's right before his turn, so he's just going to end up getting right back up before I can take advantage of it. Of course. If I'd been able to take proper advantage of him going prone, I would have been able to make a precision attack, which would allow me to target a specific part of his mech, and I would have gone for the head or the torso, something that would let me expedite his demise.
What now?
Oh well. I've still basically won this fight. Let's see if I can finish him off here.
Okay.
Oh yeah, look at all that damage he's soaking up on his torso. And an ammo crit.
That looked like a critical hit.
An internal ammo crit like that destroys ammo stockpiles and may even end up causing the ammo to explode, doing extra damage to your mech's internal components. That's one of the biggest potential drawbacks to weapons like autocannons and missile launchers.
Standing by. Acknowledged.
There goes another missile barrage, and wow, look at all those.
Got past the armor.
Looks like I damaged his autocannon and I took out 2 of his ammo stores.
Good to go.
Ooh, can I finish him off with my Locust? That would be...
Affirmative. Roger that.
Oh, of course not. Come on, man. I finally give you a chance to do something fantastic, and you let me down yet again. And there's the return fire. Wow. I have to admit, I really didn't expect my Locust to survive that. I guess it's a good thing I just crit his autocannon, otherwise that probably would have finished the job. And speaking of autocannons, let's just go all out here. I think it's time to finish this fight.
Maybe things are looking up.
Now my Jaeger mech is shut down due to overheating. I knew that was going to happen, but I was kind of hedging my bets on finishing off the Orion. Now I really do need to finish this fight quickly because while my Jaeger mech is shut down, the Orion can precision target it.
I'll wait here for now.
I'll hold you back. As much fun as it would be to finish off the Orion with a Locust, I just don't think that's very practical right now. Well, he's still alive, but he lost an arm. He's down again, and I think that's the third injury on his pilot now. Except this time I get to go immediately, so I can... Ooh, maybe I can... He's just too far away for an Angel of Death attack. But that's fine. I'll just have to finish him off the old-fashioned way. Let's just move the catapult in there, get a better angle of fire on him. And since I can select where I'm targeting, I'll just go straight for the center of mass. I'm tempted to go all out with this and use all my medium lasers, but I guess I shouldn't tempt fate. And there he goes. I must say, I think that went a lot smoother than last time. And hopefully this video gives a slightly more accurate idea of how the current version of the game works. Of course, that's not to say that I couldn't still use some more practice. So I'd better get back to it. This is RetconRaider signing off. Thanks for watching. Oh, and remember, although I do love talking about and playing the Battletech Backer Beta, you can find out all the latest news about it by visiting the official website. You can also still get access to the Backer Beta by visiting the campaign page on Kickstarter. Links are in the description.